Hello, I'm James Ezimoha. Welcome to Africa News, where we bring you the latest updates from across the African continent. Let's see your headlines. Bodies of 6 migrants washed ashore near Misrata, Libya. Authorities remain on high alert. We look at the profiles of African papacy contenders, Ghana's Cardinal Turkson and Congo's Cardinal Ambongo. Kenyan lawmaker shot dead in Nairobi by alleged gunmen. Thank you for joining us. We begin in Libya, where authorities have recovered the bodies of 6 migrants washed ashore near Misrata. Rescue teams say they remain high on alert as more victims may surface. The country remains a major route for people attempting dangerous crossings to Europe.
Rescue workers recovered 6 bodies along the coast near Misrata on Thursday after waves pushed the remains of migrants onto the shore. Libya's Mediterranean coastline has become a graveyard for many seeking refuge or a better life in Europe. Since the 2011 NATO-backed uprising that toppled Muammar Gaddafi, the country has become a major hub for migrant journeys, often ending in tragedy. The Red Crescent's rescue team says they are maintaining coastal patrols in case more bodies appear.
4 bodies were recovered in the morning and 2 bodies were recovered in the evening, bringing the total to 6 bodies. The number is according to security authorities. We remain on site continuously, even into the night, in case more bodies appear on the shoreline.
The United Nations says thousands of migrants continue to pass through Libya each year despite the risks. With lawlessness and armed conflict still plaguing parts of the country, many journeys end not in hope, but in loss.
Cardinal Peter Turkson of Ghana is once again emerging as a strong African candidate to succeed Pope Francis. Vatican insiders say his profile has steadily risen since 2013, fueled by his leadership roles and global advocacy.
A decade after his name first surfaced in papal succession discussions, Ghanaian Cardinal Peter Turkson is once again gaining attention as a leading African contender to succeed Pope Francis. The 75-year-old cleric, originally from the small town of Nsutawasa, has held several influential positions in the Vatican since 2013, including as the founding prefect of the Dicastery for Promoting Integral Human Development. He currently serves as Chancellor of the Pontifical Academies of Sciences, a role that has kept him active in global conversations on poverty, climate change, and ethics in science. Observers note that Turkson's ability to bridge ideological divides within the Church, combining social advocacy with doctrinal conservatism, has helped raise his profile across continents. He has long emphasized economic justice and the need to protect vulnerable communities, while also affirming traditional teachings on moral and theological issues. His growing prominence reflects the Catholic Church's demographic shift toward the global South, where membership is expanding rapidly, in contrast to steady declines in parts of Europe and North America. Vatican analysts say while European cardinals remain influential, Turkson's experience and international reputation make him a serious contender. If chosen, Cardinal Turkson would become the first African pope since Gelasius I in the 5th century. Turkson's candidacy, according to church insiders, symbolizes the Church's evolving identity in a changing global landscape.
Cardinal Fridolin Ambongo of the Democratic Republic of Congo is being mentioned among possible successors to Pope Francis. The Archbishop of Kinshasa is widely known for his moral leadership and criticisms of corruption.
Cardinal Fridolin Ambongo Basungu, a Capuchin friar and the current Archbishop of Kinshasa, has emerged as one of the African names being discussed in the lead-up to the papal conclave. His candidacy comes in the wake of the sudden passing of Pope Francis on Easter Monday, a development that has prompted renewed conversations about leadership and representation in the Catholic Church. Ordained a bishop in 2004 and elevated to the College of Cardinals in 2018, Ambongo has earned a reputation for moral clarity and vocal criticism of corruption, exploitation, and neo-colonial legacies. He is also widely respected for his peace efforts in the Democratic Republic of Congo and his pastoral outreach to marginalized communities. If elected, Ambongo would become the first black pope since Pope Gelasius I, who reigned in the 5th century. The possibility, while historic, remains uncertain. Many Vatican analysts still consider Ghana's Cardinal Peter Turkson a more prominent African contender, while European and Latin American cardinals are viewed as leading favourites. As preparations continue for the conclave in Rome, the outcome may reflect broader shifts in the Church, including its demographic tilt toward Africa and other regions of the global south.
Thousands of displaced families in eastern Congo are returning home, not by choice, but by necessity. Many find their homes destroyed and farmland taken over by M23 rebel groups. But in places like Kibumba, farming and trade are slowly starting again, despite ongoing insecurity.
Farmers in Kibumba, a fertile town in eastern Congo, are returning to their land after years of war, only to face new struggles under M23 rebel control. The Rwandan-backed rebels have displaced more than 1.2 million people across North and South Kivu since January, but nearly 1.8 million others have returned, often because rebel forces dismantled camps for displaced people after seizing key areas, including Goma. Some farmers say they found strangers working their land and had to pay to reclaim it.
When we fled the war, we went to Kanyaruchinya, where we spent 3 years living in very bad conditions. Great suffering. We spent days hungry. And when we returned home, we found people working in our fields already producing these cabbages. I had to pay money to have rights to this harvest. Relatives lent me money to achieve this in order to restart.
In nearby towns, residents say the reopening of Kibumba's vegetable market has brought much-needed relief after months of soaring prices.
When this market wasn't functioning, vegetable prices had risen so much, it was impossible to find cauliflower in our area because this is its source. The closure of this market really hurt us because we had trouble finding vegetables in our villages. But now that the war seemed to decrease and there are no more fights in this area, residents have returned and they started selling us cabbages, onions, and all the other vegetables that we buy when arriving here, and we are very happy.
According to UN and government data, over 59,000 people have returned to Kibumba in recent months. But as conflict zones shift, families continue navigating the tension between survival, safety, and the uncertain authority of armed groups in their home regions.
A Kenyan lawmaker has been shot dead in Nairobi by gunmen on a motorbike, according to local reports. Charles Ongwondowere was an MP for Kasipul constituency in western Kenya. Leaders are calling for accountability as investigations continue.
Kenyan MP Charles Ongwondowere was shot dead on April 30th near the Parliament buildings in Nairobi by 2 attackers on a motorcycle, according to local media reports. His driver survived the shooting, but the lawmaker was pronounced dead after being rushed to hospital. The motive for the killing remains unclear. Ongwondowere was a member of the opposition ODM party led by Raila Odinga, who challenged President William Ruto's 2022 election victory, but later agreed to work with the government. The assassination has shocked the country, and fellow lawmakers are demanding answers.
We want to register our deepest condolences to what has taken place. I want to confirm and inform the residents of the entire Homa Bay County and Kenya. Honorable Ongwondowere was with us in Parliament, as been stated, and he closely had a serious or close discussion with Honorable Ivo Bara, as I saw. I passed Honorable Ongwondowere around 7 in the night at Parliament exit as he was addressing 5 MPs, and he was the one whom the MPs were listening to. I was saddened to have read the message that Ongwondowere Mheshimiwa of Kasipul is no more. Call it to the family, and may his soul rest in peace.
How I pray that this matter is going to be conclusively brought to book, and we will know who murdered Honorable Charles Ongondowere.
Police have not yet identified suspects in the killing as leaders across the political divide continue to condemn the attack. Charles Ongondowere is the first sitting MP to be fatally shot in Kenya in recent years.
In Benin, a teenage girl's passion for rugby is rewriting the rules of sports and society. 15-year-old Khadijat Ouedraogo is one of a growing number of girls embracing the game across West Africa. Her story reflects the region's changing attitudes towards women in traditionally male-dominated sports.
Each evening in Cotonou, 15-year-old Khadijat Ouedraogo laces up her boots and heads to rugby training. A rare sight in a country where girls in contact sports remain the exception. Rugby is quickly becoming a symbol of change in West Africa, attracting young women eager to challenge social expectations and carve out space in a sport long seen as off-limits. With medals from Togo and Ivory Coast already on her shelf, Khadijat's rise is inspiring others to follow. Despite the growing recognition, Khadijat says she still faces doubts from peers who question whether girls belong on the pitch.
My parents supported me, they give me advice. Sometimes they remind me that I have training, that I need to hurry to get to training. Well, my friends, when I talk to them about rugby, they often tell me that it's a brutal game, that I'm a woman, that if I play rugby, I won't be able to have children, and so on. I think playing sports is good for oneself. It helps mental health, helps us flourish, and gives us good reflexes.
Her father once had doubts himself, but says the sport has brought unexpected benefits to his daughter's life.
Rugby, even I watched it on TV. When I watched it on TV, before she started playing, it scared me. But since she started the sport, I noticed that it has calmed her down, and it has given her discipline. She has a schedule. You see, she has to go to school, she has to study, and there are chores to do at home. She is a girl. So she must complete her chores, and she must study, and she must go to sports. So I can only encourage her, and I am proud of her.
Across West Africa, more young women like Khadijat are picking up rugby balls and pushing back against outdated norms. Their progress signals a quiet revolution, where sport is becoming a tool for empowerment and social change.
Well, that's all we have today in Africa News. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned to A News.